So why might I put my money in an employer-sponsored plan? Well, one reason that I just alluded to is the match, right? Matches are huge. That's why if you go back to the financial action plan, one of the first things that I talk about and the first investing step that I talk about is investing up to the match if you have an employer sponsored retirement plan that offers a match to you. And all this match is you put a certain amount of money in and so does the employer. So they give you free money if you put in a certain amount. And that's huge. That's ginormous. You're getting 100% returns on your money immediately. And so that's a particular reason that you would invest in an employer sponsored retirement account, because it's free. It's free money. I want all the free money that I can get. Therefore, I would take advantage of that if possible. Another reason that we may go to employer-sponsored plans is that they have higher contribution limits. So what do I mean? Well, a traditional IRA or a Roth IRA in 2020 has a contribution limit of $6,000 if you are under the age of 50. And if you are 50 or older, that jumps up to $7,000 annually. Well, the difference between those and the 401k, 403b, and 457 plan, contribution limits are extremely different. The difference between that contribution limit and the contribution limits of the 401k, 403b, and 457 plans is quite large. And so all of those three plans have a contribution limit of $19,500 this year. This is 2020 if you are under the age of 50. If you're 50 or older, that increases by $6,000, and it's a lot of money to be able to put in a retirement account if you need to invest that amount to get up to, let's say, 15% of your income, or to reach towards the retirement number that you're trying to reach to. And we've talked about both of those things previously. And what this can do is allow you to get more tax advantaged money put away than in an IRA. So in a traditional 401k, 403b, 457, whatever, you'll be able to defer your taxes longer and get the tax deductions now. But if you were to do it in a Roth, well, then you can have more tax-free money later and more money to grow tax-free for you. And that's somewhere that I want to look particularly at, is the Roth option. Well, Roth is income limited when it comes to IRAs. So Roth IRAs have income restrictions. Well, Roth 401ks and 403bs do not have income restrictions. So no matter what you make, you can put money in a Roth 401k or 403b. And that may be really useful to you if you can't put money in a Roth IRA. And so that's another distinct advantage, and you can really take advantage of something that you couldn't get your hand on directly beforehand. And that's another reason that we may invest in an employer-sponsored plan. And then there's regulatory advantages as well. So there's ERISA protection, ERISA. And I'm going to read a little bit about that for you to just kind of let you know what exactly this is and how this may help you. So the Employee Retirement Income Security Act of 1974, ERISA, is a federal law that sets minimum standards for the most voluntary established retirement and health plans in private industry to provide protection for individuals in these plans. So it helps to provide protections for you in your retirement plans. And it requires plans to provide participants with plan information, including important information about plan features and funding. So you're going to be able to receive all the disclosures that you need to receive, and you should look through those, even though most of us don't. So you definitely should look through those and go through and maybe have somebody help you look at them as well. But the ERISA Act also provides fiduciary responsibilities for those who manage and control plan assets. So if you don't know much about a fiduciary, you can look it up, but it's basically individuals who must work in your best interest as an investor, as a client. So you can learn more about that, but it requires them to be a fiduciary, which is a big deal. And then it also requires plans to establish a grievance and appeals process for participants to get benefits from their plans, and gives participants the right to sue for benefits and breaches of fiduciary duty. So if they don't do the things they're supposed to do, if the plan doesn't, then you have legal rights to go after them and to get back what is rightfully yours. And so this is good news for the investor, and it is a reason that we might feed money into an employer-sponsored plan, but it's not primary in my mind as to why you would do so, but it is a distinct advantage. Another thing about employer-sponsored plans is that they reduce friction to investing. And what do I mean by that? Well, these deductions are coming straight out of your check before you even receive it. You don't ever see that you invested this money. It leaves your check and goes to that account. You don't have to actively deal with it. And it's not coming out of your bank account either. It's coming directly out of your check beforehand. And that's a big deal, because whenever you take away frictions, so things that are going to get in the way from someone investing, then they will invest, and they will invest more, and they won't miss the money that they invest. So especially for those who are new to investing or need some kind of push to get to that place where they'll be able to invest, these can be really useful benefits because you don't have to feel it as much. Yes, you'll have less income coming home because of the fact that it was taken out of your check, but it's not so much in your control to determine, do I invest, do I not invest, you make that one-time decision and say, yes, I'm going to invest X percent or X dollar amount, and then it'll go without you even having to say anything or make any determinations. And so it can allow you to take the frictions of investing away, which is a huge deal, and will allow you to build good financial habits. Something else that these plans do is they allow you for automatic dollar cost averaging. So what do I mean, dollar cost averaging? Well, when you're buying investments systematically, so when you're putting money in, every 2 weeks or every week or however often you get paid, and let's say you're putting the same percentage of your income or the same dollar value into your investments, then what you're doing is you're buying your investments no matter at what point they are in their growth. So, if an investment has a really high valuation, you're buying it there. If it has a really low valuation, you're buying it there. And so you're averaging out what your returns will be over the long term, which is actually really good. And it keeps you from getting caught up in any kind of market timing because you're going to get the market average return over the long term, which is a good deal. And it's automatically that way due to the fact that you're investing whenever you get paid. Employer-sponsored plans also have a benefit over things like IRAs in that they have earlier distributions. So if you leave your money in an old 401k, then you can take that money out starting at age 55. Whereas with an IRA, it's 59 and a half before you can get your hands on that money. And so maybe you need the money earlier, or maybe you want to retire a little earlier and have access to that money. Well, maybe that's an advantage that you can take with the employer-sponsored plans. And they may also offer what's called in-service distributions, and these have limitations, and I don't necessarily recommend them, but you can take money out of them for particular purposes while you're still working, and that can be a particular benefit that you would like as well. And last, but definitely not least, actually last and greatest, is that employer-sponsored plans are the most common ways that millionaires are made in America. So Chris Hogan, in his book, Everyday Millionaires, they did the largest study of millionaires in America that's ever been done, over 10,000 millionaires in America, and found that 79% of them, 79%, that's vast majority, said that they reached millionaire status in large part due to their employer retirement plans. That is huge. If you know that, and I'm telling you that, so you know now, then why wouldn't you take advantage of these things? They obviously have some advantages that will help people get to that wealth building potential that other accounts may not have. And so this is a particular reason that I would say employer-sponsored plans in general are a good thing for you. Because what we want to do is we want to follow the people who have set good habits. If you want to be a millionaire, you don't go to somebody who is bouncing around between jobs and is not making a lot of money and is not making good financial decisions. You don't go to that person to learn how to be a millionaire. You go to a millionaire to learn how to be a millionaire. You go to people who know how to get there to get to where you want to be. And so we don't want to listen to anecdotes, and we don't want to listen to people who say, oh, you can't get ahead and you can't do all the things you wanted to do because you're from this place, or you're of this race, or you're of this gender. It's not necessary. It's not. There are all kinds of disadvantages that individuals have. But if I know that I can become a millionaire via something, if there's a high correlation between taking advantage of something and getting to a place that I want to get to, then I'm going to take advantage of that thing. And that thing, in this case, is the employer-sponsored retirement plan.